came back out of the house, told the friends that he found his father dead inside. 911 was called. Police responded, found the father dead on the ground floor, his mother dead in a bedroom upstairs, and his two brothers dead upstairs, all dead from gunshot wounds.
You know, this was a horrible case. I mean, it was a horrible crime. I mean, it occurred in a scenic, nice, peaceful part of the community.
Months before the murder, he had told children on the bus, 16-year-old, 15-year-olds, that he was tired of his father telling him what to do, and he was going to kill his father, and he was going to kill his brother so he didn't have to share the inheritance.
In a town haunted by tragedy, Nick Browning's confession shattered the deception of a content life, while Zachary Scott Borton's claim of self-defense cast a shadow of doubt over a series of chilling events. As their stories unfolded, the weight of their actions unveiled a web of secrets and consequences, leaving communities on edge and justice hanging in the balance. Nick Browning, a regular teenager from a well-off family, enjoyed a seemingly happy life until a sleepover changed everything. Returning from a friend's place, Nick and his friends sensed trouble the moment they reached his house. Initially, it looked like a break-in, but what they discovered was far more chilling. These four 15-year-olds, Ryan Fingal, Taylor Tewksbury, Alexander Smith, and Nicholas Browning, had spent that February 2nd, 2008, at the mall, before heading to Nick's home in Cockeysville, Maryland. Finding the Browning residence unlocked hinted at a possible robbery, confirming their fears as they stepped inside. John Browning, a respected attorney and Nick's father, was discovered dead, shot while asleep on the sofa. The horror didn't stop there. Nick's mother, Tamara, along with his younger brothers Gregory, 13, and Benjamin, 11, had also been fatally shot in their bedrooms. The police were called in, and the boys were taken to the station to give statements. Split into separate rooms, they awaited questioning by a detective. Nick's friends, crucial witnesses to the family's discovery, had been with Nick during the tragic events. However, the interrogation takes a turn when the detective grows suspicious of the friends. Sensing they were hiding something, the detective insisted on a conversation to uncover the truth.
Your brothers didn't do it. A burglar didn't do it.
How can you say that?
I can tell, buddy, this is what I do for a living. I've been doing it for 22 years. You know how many burglaries I've been to? You know how many homicides I've been to? I sit here every day talking to people just like you. I didn't do it, I didn't do it, I didn't do it. And this just goes on and on and on. And you did do it. If you didn't do it, you wouldn't be sitting here. I'm telling you right now. Nobody broke into that house.
How can you be so sure?
I'm positive. I'm 100% positive that nobody broke into that house. I've been to plenty of burglaries. I know what a burglar looks like. When you walk into a home and the house has been burglarized. Your house wasn't burglarized.
This was no burglary?
Nobody broke in. Nobody went in there and killed your family. You did it. You had a reason to do it. Yeah, you did.
What would my reason be?
Your father was pissed at you last night. Maybe he didn't like your lifestyle. I don't know.
How could I not like my lifestyle? I go to my summer house for 2 weekends. I get whatever I want, I get it. I mean...
People do it every day. Why do people walk into schools and shoot all their friends?
Because they're picked on. They don't enjoy it. I enjoy my life a lot.
Okay. Again, I know people that love their children. They kill their children. People love their babies, but they kill their babies. People kill other human beings. This isn't an armed robbery. This wasn't a burglary.
And by your whole family being dead, you make out the most. I'm sure your father was well insured. Your mom was well insured. Now everything's yours. So you coldly killed your parents? And there's got to be another reason why you did this other than insurance money. That's the way you're going to be looked at. The 15-year-old killed his family for money. I didn't kill my family.
Yeah, you did. We're going to do this all night, man. It wasn't anybody else but you. Yeah, you did. I'm telling you, you did.
Everything about it, the way you act, you're acting as if you're a guilty man. We've interviewed hundreds of people in these rooms. Hundreds of people. And they all fit your mold.
What is that mold?
The more you lie, the deeper it gets. The fact about the keys.
I mean, do you really want me to believe that someone broke into your house, found the keys to the gun locker, which you said you didn't know where they were, opened the gun locker?
They didn't. I know they didn't.
Let me finish.
Sorry.
Let me finish. Or took your dad's gun off his workbench and methodically went through the house and killed everybody in the house, then walked into your bedroom and stuck the keys under your mattress?
There's multiple sets of keys.
What are they doing under your mattress? Do you want me to believe that somebody did that?
No,
Do you believe
I
that?
didn't put them under a mattress. That makes no sense.
They're there.
There's multiple sets of keys.
The keys are under your mattress.
There's one set of keys.
The keys are under your mattress. Do you want me to believe that someone walked into that house, kills your entire family, and then just happens to put the keys under your
The gun
mattress?
was out. I didn't need the keys.
Okay, I'm telling you. Do you want me to believe that?
But it wouldn't make any sense for me to even touch the keys.
Do you want me to believe that?
But that's not even. The keys aren't. For this to happen or whatever, it wasn't even necessarily the
Okay, but the keys are under your mattress. If your parents didn't want you to have the keys, would they hide them under your mattress? I don't think so. Do you want me to believe that someone broke in, kills your entire family, shoots 2 small children, and then decides they're going to put the keys under your mattress?
It
Doesn't make sense, does it?
It doesn't.
Do you want me to believe that someone would break into a house and not take anything? Doesn't make sense, does it? There's a reason that you break into a house. And that's to take valuables. And it's fairly obvious from where your father's found, your mother, and your 2 brothers, nobody confronted the burglar and said, "Get out of my house," and they got shot for that reason. Your family members were executed. And you did it. Yes, you did. No doubt in my mind.
There won't be a doubt in the jury's mind either. The only question is why. That's the only question they're going to have. It's up to you to explain.
There's a reason for everything. I mean, something triggered this.
We've heard a lot of stuff.
And that's understandable. And people understand that when you make an explanation. And as I told you earlier, people do this every day. And again, they love their babies, they love their children, they love their wives, husbands. But sometimes people snap. And it happens. Something happened. It wasn't the burglar.
Help us understand.
Nothing made me snap.
I don't know, bud. I'll be back.
The detectives reappeared after approximately 10 minutes.
Why are you telling us this big story about going the keys when the keys are in the pocket of your jacket? The car keys.
Yes.
You had them the whole time?
Mm-hmm. I don't realize that no more. As my friends didn't tell you that.
Again, an untruth. Why did you do this? You keep saying that.
Who did it?
How
Who would do it? What kind of person would do this?
I don't know.
What part of what we're saying don't you understand? Is there
I
anything?
don't see how one set of keys to.
Why are they under your bed?
My parents, if they want me to, to get, if this is a burglar, to get
Come
the
on.
keys.
That's
Come on. You're gonna have to do better than that.
So what's the threat here? If you take this to trial, I'm going to go to jail based on a set of keys.
No, that's not just a set of keys. There's a lot more than that.
What?
I'm not gonna sit here and tell
we
you
don't
everything.
do that.
I think I didn't do it. There can't be other evidence.
You did do it.
I didn't do it.
Nobody else did this.
How can you be so certain?
Because I've been a cop for 22 years and my intuition's pretty good. I've been to plenty of homicide scenes. I've been to plenty of burglaries. This wasn't a burglary. You're being given a chance to explain things. It happened for a reason.
There's no reason.
You just did it? Yeah, you did. You did. No doubt in my mind. You did this. Who else would do it?
I don't know.
Drug murderers don't shoot children.
The detectives attempted various tactics to produce a confession from Nick. They initially claimed his friends had mentioned his father being upset with him. Then, they used a family photo to evoke emotions and highlighted inconsistencies in his statements. They investigated if he cared about his reputation and suggested providing a motive to soften the perception of him as a cold-hearted individual. Despite their efforts, Nick didn't confess. Being arrested and handcuffed likely instilled fear and a realization of the seriousness of his situation. Leaving him alone afterward was a strategy to heighten stress and get a confession. Exhausted, Nick fell asleep, only to be awakened about 40 minutes later when the door stirred him. The first detective returned, likely aiming to take on a more sympathetic role. Removing the handcuffs, he possibly intended to create an impression of being an ally, hoping Nick would be more forthcoming, believing the detective was on his side.
You know what to do. That's the problem. That's why you were gone for so long.
You spent those hours concocting some silly story. The jury's gonna see right through.
Not a story.
Well, maybe you didn't do that, but you didn't know what to do. I mean, you're claiming that you wake up and all the lights are on. But you know that something's wrong.
Why didn't you go in? You knew the back door was open.
I never saw the lights were on. The lights in my parents' bedroom.
You said earlier that all of the lights were on. You fell asleep, you woke up, all of the lights were still on.
I said my parents' bedroom lights were on.
You said all the lights. You did.
The keys were, where my parents were, the lights were on in the house. The lights were on in the house.
This is the problem. You can't keep track of what you're saying now. You can't keep track of what you're saying.
You can't keep track of it.
You asked me where my parents' bedroom was.
You haven't shed one tear for your family.
You were totally unemotional about this. You walk into a house, your whole family's murdered. And you're just, I didn't do it. Why would I do it? I was in my friend's house.
So crying would make you believe that?
I think you're trying to convince yourself. You're doing a terrible job of convincing me.
I have to convince you.
Yeah, you do. Believe it or not, you do.
You've already made your mind. I couldn't.
You did this. There's no doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind. Afraid it is. Okay. Well, you know what? You're under arrest.
Okay.
4 counts of first-degree murder.
Sit down.
Sit down.
Okay.
Nick, I'm just trying to help you out. I'm trying to figure out what happened here. I mean, this is a horrible tragedy. You know that. We know that all the lights off were in the house. All the lights were off. There were no lights on in the house when you went there.
But, I mean...
See, all these little lies, all these untruths.
All right. Maybe I talked wrong, but I mean, I know that light was on. Forget what I said,
Okay, I understand.
I mean, that light, I know that was on. What do you want me to say?
I want to know why. I want to know why.
If there's a reason, I still go to jail. I mean,
but you understand there are mitigating factors in the world. There's a cold-blooded killer, and there's a reason why people do things, and there are differences. There's differences in the way things are perceived, the way people hear things. Yeah, inevitably it could determine the way you live out your life. Yeah, you can live it out as a cold-blooded killer who just killed 4 members of family, first-degree murder, or maybe there was a reason. However, whatever it might be, there may be a reason. He's still going to jail.
It sounds like the detective is using a technique called mitigating circumstances or alternatives during the interrogation. This tactic involves highlighting that individuals often have reasons for their actions, and these reasons can influence their situation. By introducing this idea, the detective aims to create an environment where the suspect might feel less judged and more inclined to confess. It subtly suggests that there might be justifications or understandable factors behind their actions. Even if the suspect doesn't disclose the true motives, the police would still have a recorded confession to the crime.
But why? You know, if there's an explanation, people want to hear this. People don't want to shut off a 15-year-old kid. They want to know why. Father was beating him or abusing, maybe not physically abusing him, degrading him. We know he was overly hard on you. We already know that. But you did it. And that's just it. The jury's just going to hear, I didn't do it though. I didn't do it though. You know, I'm not a hard ass. I'm just trying to find out what happened here.
And you give me the option of, oh, well, you know, you can feel better about yourself and still go to jail. Or, I didn't do it. So far as what you told me, I really honestly think you have the key. The key means nothing.
Oh, it means a lot.
To an experienced officer, maybe, but a jury.
So you're playing on your mind right now. How am I going to beat this jury? I've got the jury beat. Not in Baltimore County, you don't.
You've given me the option of going to jail, feeling good to myself, 100%. Or...
How long are you going to go to jail for?
What?
The rest of your life? Or is there a mitigating factor of what happened here?
There's not.
Then why did you do it?
I didn't do it. But regardless, there's no mitigating factor.
See, that's the horrible thing about this then. All they're left with is you shooting 4 people. I can't go over that. I can't go over a piece of evidence. You'll see that in discovery months, maybe a year down the line, after you've been sitting in BCDC for that whole time, the detention center.
And if I gave a reason, I'd still be sitting in that same detention center.
I don't know. Is there a mental issue? Is there something going on here?
So then I commit myself to a mental hospital for the rest of my life. Right?
I don't know. That's just it. I don't know. I don't know the reason. I can't guess. I can't fathom why this happened. But I'm sure there's a reason. Because I can't imagine in my world that someone would kill their mother, father, and their 2 little brothers. But maybe there is a reason. It's not up to me to tell the jury the reason.
It seems like the detective is employing elements of the read technique by presenting Nick with 2 contrasting options. The first option paints Nick as a heartless murderer, while the second implies there might be a reason behind his actions, aiming to make it the more morally acceptable choice. The detective likely hopes that by emphasizing the differences between the 2 options, Nick might feel more inclined to admit to the lesser evil, which, in essence, would still be an admission of guilt. This technique is designed to gradually break down the suspect's resistance until they confess or align with the less severe option, thereby acknowledging their involvement in the crime.
I'm not here to bullshit you. You may think that. That's fine.
But you're trying to bullshit me. It doesn't seem to say some reason doesn't seem to be very compelling, because I'm still going to jail regardless. But if I take it to court, and what if I win? Then
that's a heck of a gamble, isn't it? But the rest of your life is a heck of a gamble.
But as opposed to what? It's not
to a lesser amount of time.
A lesser amount of time, but if it's still 30 years, that's my life.
But what if it's not? What if it's a mitigating factor strong enough?
There's no mitigating factor, though.
See, there is. So you're trying to play it in your head. I know you. I know what you're doing here. I know, maybe not know you, but I know the type of person. Because I've seen the person here in the same exact seat before.
There's no mitigating factor.
Well, you want someone to come here and promise you, well, because I was mentally abused, that's why I did this. I'm only going to give you 5 years. That's what you want, right? That's what you want. But I can't give it to you right now. I can't say that, but I can certainly take what you tell me and give it to the right people. This is it. After this, there's no more me. There's no more mouthpiece for you right now. This ends when I leave. You're a good kid.
I'm reaching this. I'm trying to get there.
I can tell you care. That's just it. I can tell you care. I can tell you feel what you did. You see, this is the first time. The first genuine emotion I've seen all night is coming now. What happened? Nick, what happened?
It seems that while Nick was getting ready to confess, there was a notable absence of remorse in his behavior.
I can tell you didn't plan this. Is it because you're a father?
Yeah, it was the straw. Yeah.
But why? Was it physical?
No, it's more sort of like a last. Probably still. I mean, it wasn't. It was. They were physical. I'm in Boy Scouts, right? And excuse me.
It's okay, man.
So there's this I'm almost Eagle, I'm almost done.
Getting life,
right? Life Scout. And then there's this leadership weekend camp out, whatever thing, and
where was it?
This was Brownsea, somewhere up in Africa. But anyways, I didn't want to go. I'm almost done. Didn't think I needed a leadership camp, so my attitude wasn't great on the trip.
He got pissed.
So he got pissed, and as we're coming home, he hits me.
Was he beating on you too, mentally, or?
It was mentally, and it's like he called me a lot of times, and that was the.
You're at Life Scout, you're at Life Scout, for God's sakes.
And so that was sort of the beginning, the beginning of it, and it's just.
How long ago was that?
That was this fall.
Okay.
Last fall, and then
You kept it up then.
It kept going, and the little thing just seemed to always reverted back to that one thing, and then the alcohol thing happened. Then they called me taking out the car.
Oh, you got a call before?
Yeah, I got a call before.
He threatened to keep it away from you?
Right. And
but the whole time your grades are good? Everything else is?
grades were good. And last freshman year, I got a D one quarter, but then I got an A the next quarter, so I got a B overall. So that
But he's harping on the D.
Right, harping on the D, and then he did occasionally. I wouldn't call it huge physical beating, but I think
It's still uncalled for.
Right, the emotional, I think. The hit, when he hit me, didn't bother me. It was the constant.
Did he do it in front of your friends too?
Never the hitting, but the yelling and the anger.
Embarrassing.
Yeah. And then for my birthday, which is
a couple
days away, we were supposed to take friends up to Deep Creek.
Mm-hmm.
And this last weekend, he was uptight as usual. And
did he drink or anything? Or?
No, it was never really alcohol. It was just he's overstressed, I think.
Okay.
He works. I mean, he gets up at 5 in the morning and comes home at 6:30.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, the confession surfaced. Nick admitted to the detective about his actions. He elaborated, revealing that his father wasn't just abusive to him, but also to his mother. It seems apparent that Nick hadn't planned to kill his family, suggesting that premeditated murder was not part of his intentions.
So then he sort of had his fill being nice to all his clients when he gets home. Takes it out, dinner not almost, but most nights.
Is he doing it the same to your brothers? Or just you?
Maybe, but I didn't.
No.
It didn't seem like that to me, but.
To your mother at all?
Yeah, but a little bit. But the bulk seemed to be generated towards me.
Mm-hmm.
And then Friday night, he was just mad. I don't really even know why he was mad. And then I was giving directions how to get around Fingal's house.
Mm-hmm.
And then he
Lost it.
blows out or something. It didn't hit me. He just gets really angry. And I really didn't get lost. He went 2 feet past a turn and just had to make a tight turn.
Come back.
And then you have to put the car in reverse. He got really angry. And then I went back to get the car. And I saw him sitting on the couch. The TV was on. And I knew the gun was out on the workshop bench.
Mm-hmm. What happened?
I walked up. I sat there for a half hour.
He was sleeping.
Yeah, standing over him. And then I went between putting the gun up to his head and pulling it back down and up.
Do you have a pillow up too, or?
No, just the gun. The gun was... I'm not sure if I meant to pull the trigger or if it
Just went off?
And then once that happened, I freaked out, and I thought, they'd all come down, but I don't even know if they woke up or whatever, but so I sat on the couch and they were up, and I couldn't realize I couldn't just walk away from that. And then I shot my mom. And then
She's still sleeping.
yeah, I waited for a little bit, then I think she went back to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I shot her. And I shot her come back.
Why the brothers, man?
I thought no one was there to say anything that my story would go because I was the only one. I just got scared. I didn't want this to happen.
That's the only true emotion you're showing right now. I just gotta feel at least a little better. I need to know where the gun is, though. We can't have it out there.
It's on Shore Road. I'll explain it on the map or whatever.
You may have to take us there.
Sure, it's fine.
Is it?
Maybe it's in bushes.
You can point out to where it is?
Yeah, definitely.
After securing Nick's full confession, the detective offered him food and soda, signaling the end of the interrogation. In 2009, Nick Browning pleaded guilty to 4 counts of first-degree murder and was sentenced to 4 life terms in prison, ensuring he'd never regain freedom. Nick's unsettling and detached behavior from reality was confusing, especially considering his young age of 15. As the ordeal concluded, he started crying, although it's possible this came from the realization of being caught rather than genuine remorse. As Nick's case came to a close, the haunting echoes of that interrogation lingered, leaving a chilling reminder of the complexities within a young mind pushed to extreme ends. Now, shifting focus to another case, a new narrative unfolds, revealing yet another puzzling story in the web of human behavior and justice. The unsettling case of Zachary Scott Borton in Grand Rapids casts a shadow over the town, accused of a harrowing triple homicide that shook the calmness of the community. The victims, Delmar Eugene Frail, 80, Edward John Kanzler, 70, and Michael George Pauley, 70, tragically gave in to gunshot wounds, their lives ending on a sad Sunday morning. The close residents along Fishville Road in Grass Lake Township were deeply affected by this tragic event, struggling with the shock and grief that enveloped their peaceful surroundings. Borton's troubled past intensifies the complexity of this case. A registered sex offender with a history marked by car theft and robbery, his riotous life trajectory adds layers of intrigue to this already puzzling situation, further complicating matters. His association with a prison gang, as hinted by Jackson County Sheriff Gary Chouette, raises questions about potential connections to these dreadful shootings. Investigators are methodically piecing together Borton's affiliations, diving into the depth of his involvement with the gang, striving to uncover any links that might shed light on these horrific acts.
Hi, Zach. I'm Brian. Nice to meet you.
You guys need something, just let us know, okay?
I'm a detective from Jackson County, so I just want to talk to you a little bit, just to get your side of the story. I'll always know there's two sides of everything.
Detective Brian strode into the interrogation room, displaying confidence. With a friendly greeting, he acknowledged Borton, highlighting the idea that every situation harbors multiple perspectives worth exploring. They wasted no time. They dived straight into the questioning without delay.
Zach, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to a lawyer, and have him present with you before or during any questioning. If you want a lawyer but cannot afford one will be appointed to represent you at public expense. If you waive your right to remain silent and later wish to stop answering questions, the questions will stop. If you waive your right to have a lawyer present and later change your mind, the questioning will stop until you have talked with your lawyer. Do you understand your rights?
I understand.
Given these rights in mind, are you agreeing with talking with me today?
Yeah, as long as I get to see my wife. I mean, I'm not going to talk.
I'll do it as long as Grand Rapids cooperates with that. I have no issue.
I'm not going to talk until I hug her, though, because I know how that goes. Like, I mean, she could say, you could say, I can try to do whatever I can. You already got a statement.
Well, where is she at right now?
She's in Grand Rapids, not too far from you.
Okay.
We talked, so, I mean, the detective, or not, I don't know if it was an officer that was sent by the detective, told her that they can make sure that we can hug and we can say bye to each other and stuff.
Can you take my word on it if I talk with him?
I'm not going to confess to nothing until
I understand that. Will you take my word that I'll get you a hug and get you to talk to her if I can get them to agree to it? I don't know that I can get her right this second here.
Well, I'm just saying I'm not going to, I mean, how does that work? I mean, you can say anything, I mean, but, you know what I mean? It's not, that's like we're at a standoff because, like, I could say anything and then it's like, oh, well, I tried. Or they said they were going to, but this, you know what I mean? So that's the only thing that's important to me is I know my life's over.
Okay.
So I want to hug my wife goodbye. I want to give her a kiss. I want to talk to her for a minute. And they already said I could do that. Okay. That was one of the reasons I came in cooperatively. Okay. So, I mean, I just want that. And once that's fulfilled, so I know I'm not being bullshitted because that's already been told to me. My wife's not going to lie. They said that I can hug you and see you with that.
I totally 100% believe that, and I totally will tell you that I would let you do that.
Well, I mean, I believe you would. I'm just saying, I don't think much.
Let me see if I can get that arranged.
All right, thank you.
Borton's criminal history is undeniably troubling. His track record in Jackson County in 1994 marked serious offenses: car theft, armed robbery, and illegal possession of firearms, painting a grim picture of his past transgressions. Even prior to these significant crimes, his earlier troubles in North Carolina, attempting car break-ins thrice, served as a menacing sign of his future criminal behavior. Subsequently, in Hillsdale County, his convictions stacked up, including robbery without a weapon, fraudulent activities, and a deeply concerning charge related to inappropriate conduct involving a minor aged 13 to 15. This specific offense led to his registration as a sex offender.
They're on their way.
Okay.
I'm not doing anything to lie to you, right? I mean, they literally just left, and so I just texted them. When they get there, they're gonna see if she's willing to come here.
All right.
Okay, that's where that's at.
Absolutely.
In the meantime, can we talk?
I mean, I'll answer a few questions that you guys know I'm not bullshitting, but I'm not gonna get a confession or tell you guys everything.
That's fine. That's fine.
And as soon as she gets here, as soon as they get him, she gets here, he'll bring her in. Even if we're right, no matter where we're at the questioning. Or
well, I'm not gonna answer some of these questions.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I have nothing. You guys gotta realize this, and I'm just being 100. That's all I am. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm not gonna bullshit you guys.
Fair
I keep it shoot. I'm a straight shooter. You guys can make my life hell. You can't. Whatever. It doesn't do nothing to me right now. My life's over. You understand?
Why do you feel your life's over?
Listen, I'm not answering the question.
Okay.
I know my life's over. So all I'm saying is there's one thing I want because I'm more able to touch my wife again is to give my wife a hug and talk to her. That's all. That's the only thing that's grounded me for this whole little process I've been going through. And then I had no problem going back until a year from now and telling you every little thing I've done and didn't do. It doesn't matter. One charge or a million charges, I'm over.
What's up?
It seems like they're still working on it. Go ahead.
Whether you guys charge me with one charge and I'm found guilty of it, or I get found guilty of 50 charges, it's the same amount of time, it's the same amount of time for me. So it makes me no difference. If it has to stealing a candy bar from Myers or to killing something, it doesn't matter. I'm going to do the same amount of time in prison. See what I'm saying? So that's all I wanted you guys to realize.
Got text, like I told you, says, we'll see if she wants to come in. They're on their way there now.
Okay.
So only thing that Brian was thinking, and that we were thinking is, we doesn't do, we're going to send somebody there. They're already on their way. As soon as they get there, we'll have an answer. If she says no, what do you want me to do?
She's not gonna say no.
Okay.
But if she does, then I guess she needs to tell me that I can call her.
Well, we can do it over the phone.
We can do it over the phone.
You can't hug her over the phone, but
That's right. That's the only thing that's important. You guys understand? I'm going through a thing, and my wife and I have been separated for like 9-10 months now, and we're on that verge of like probably divorce. Probably gonna get divorced after this, and like we haven't been on good terms. We finally start talking and stuff. And that's the only thing that's important to me. I don't care if I can confess to nothing, pull a lawyer up, and I can just go through it like that. I have no problem with that either. I'm just saying if I can benefit out of it, because to me it's one and the same. Whether I get found guilty of fucking stealing a candy bar at Myers 10 years ago or what, it doesn't matter. I'm going to do the same amount of time. I've got like 15 fucking felonies. So I'm definitely, whatever I get found guilty, it doesn't matter to me if it's a murder charge or if it's a gun charge or if it's a shooting in my wife's house charge. I mean, any of that stuff. It doesn't matter to me. I don't have a problem confessing all of it because to me it's just going to get it over with faster anyway. But at the same time, I got one thing, that's my wife. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get to hug her goodbye, I didn't get to kiss her goodbye yesterday, today. That's all I want to do. And make sure we're going to be all right, and that's it. And I don't care about any of the other stuff. All the other stuff's irrelevant. You know what I mean? After that, it's like, whatever.
In the initial moments of questioning, Borton's demeanor shifted dramatically, particularly when the conversation turned toward his wife. He grew visibly upset, strongly refusing to confess to anything and acknowledging the looming consequences of his actions. Despite the detective's attempts to engage him in casual conversation, Borton remained fixed in his stubbornness, displaying a steadfast refusal to cooperate right from the outset. Faced with this resistance, the detective opted to pivot and explore a different approach to navigate the challenging situation.
Hi, Papas. Hi, Papas. I can't play it. Daddy have kisses? Oh, that's a good kiss. You playing your game? Aww. Is that a good hope? Hi, Papas. Aww.
Yeah, Daddy.
Good daddy kisses? Thank you. Getting so big.
Yeah.
Loving our mommy. You loving our mommy? Come on. Can Daddy get a little love? Can Daddy get a little love? Get big. Oh. Daddy loves you. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Hello. I love you, silly guy.
Alright, guys, I hate to break it up, but we gotta do it now.
Alright. Thank you, guys.
You
Go ahead.
Bye, Papa. Bye. Bye, Bubba's.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. He's a cute little dude.
The detective took an unexpected turn by bringing Borton's wife and child into the room briefly. As they departed, the expression on Borton's face hinted at a sudden realization of the gravity of the situation. Up until that moment, Borton had been stiff in his refusal to cooperate. However, this unexpected development seemed to shake him, potentially prompting a shift in his approach. Sometimes, provoking a confession doesn't require manipulation. The detective grasped the imminent significance of this moment in the interrogation, recognizing that despite Borton's hardened stance, he was still a person with emotions and vulnerabilities.
Thank you.
25 years and never done anything like that. Alright? We're men of our words, so I wish I could make it happen longer, but unfortunately we can't.
That's all I asked for. Thank you very much. I'm very appreciative.
He didn't want to kill two birds with one stone, so if you could send a detective in on your incident, or you guys all set?
I'll have him step in. Okay. We're just gonna escort her out, make sure she gets back to her truck safely and things like that, and then he'll pop back in here, okay? I don't know if she knows where she's at or where she's going down here, but we want to make sure that she gets in her truck and on her way, so he'll be right back.
All right, thank you.
think your guy talked to her already, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You want to get started on our?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Let me just go through this. I know we talked about it once before. Of course, I don't have my reading glasses, so this is a challenge. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with you before or during questioning. If you want a lawyer but cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you to represent you at public expense. If you waive your right to remain silent and later wish to stop answering questions, the questions will stop. Just let me know. If you waive your right to have a lawyer present and later change your mind, the questioning will stop until you have talked with that lawyer. Do you understand these rights?
Yeah.
Okay. Are we okay to talk?
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me what happened with the on Fishville.
Polak had been like, that's Mike. He had been high. I think he smoked crack or something. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
But he was like noised out, and he kept coming in the back bedroom where I was staying and like waving a pistol around and saying, "Who's in here? Who are you talking to?" Oh, somebody's in here. And then like the second or third time, I mean, I kind of got insulted because it was more like, if I want to have somebody in, I'd have somebody in here.
Which bedroom are you talking about?
If you go in the front door, there's a bedroom. So back right by the fireplace or whatever, there's a bedroom right there to the right. You know what I'm talking about? And then to the left, there's a I guess it'd be a front room, a big ass front room.
It's almost like a family room.
Yep. And then so in the bedroom right there on the right, when you first go in, that's the only other bedroom behind the main floor. And so he kept waving the pistol. He'd come in with the pistol, he wouldn't wave it, like then point it at me. Like at one point, I think like the second time he came in or something, he kind of waved it towards me. I was like, don't point a fucking pistol at me or some shit. It's just kind of like a guy's like back and forth.
You know what kind of pistol it was?
Yeah, it was 38.
Okay.
So he comes in there with that, and he's like kind of waving it around.
What was you upset about? Because you had somebody.
Well, he thought I had somebody in there, but I didn't. And then I found out like the third time. I want to say it was the third time he came. He kept coming in there like, "Who's in here?" And I was like, "What the fuck?" Maybe 15, 20 minutes. Who's in here? I'd be half asleep, and I'm like, so like the third time or something, he's like, "I know she's in here." I said, "Who the fuck are you talking about?" And he said, which is like a girl that comes there every once in a while. It's she's messing with another biker or whatever, whatever. But he's kind of like her. He's kind of like infatuated with her, like kind of like want to look after. I don't know, like some weird thing. He wasn't having sex with her, so I don't know.
Borton's unexpected reaction highlighted the immense impact of familial ties. His swift change in demeanor emphasized the profound effect family connections can have on an individual. It revealed the deep emotional resonance that familial bonds hold and demonstrated how they can profoundly influence someone's actions and emotions, even in the midst of a challenging interrogation. This pivotal moment emphasized the strength and significance of family relationships in shaping one's responses and decisions, surpassing the barriers of an intense interrogation setting.
Then I must have figured out there was nobody out there, of course. I go back in, it'll take me probably not too long to get back to sleep because it was really late at this time. And I hear like two distinct gunshots downstairs. But that was after I heard a bang. I think that's what woke me up, like a, I don't know, like a bang, it wasn't a gunshot, but it was like a crash. And then I hear gunshots. I want to say 2 to 3. I want to say 2, then the third, like it was like 2 and then 3. And by that time I had a gun. I kept a 40 cal. And I jumped out of bed with the 40 cal and cocked it. Like door entrance. And he had a 38 in his hand, and he said, "Motherfucker, I'm gonna kill you." And I thought he was talking about me. Mm-hmm. So I shot him twice or 3 times maybe.
He was coming in the door. You shot. So
he was coming in the front door. And then he was yelling like something like "Motherfucker, I'll kill you." Like he was agitated for sure, and he had the pistol like drawn up. And so I shot him, and then.
So 3 times?
I'm not sure. It happened kind of fast and in slow motion, like at the same time. Like it was all like kind of a blur. So I shot him, and then like after I shot, it was a gun, but it wasn't. After I looked closer, I just know it wasn't a gun. He was coming out of the back, and so I turned towards him and shot him, or at him rather. I don't know if I hit him the first time because he turned, and when he turned to like kind of get away, I kind of ran back towards him, and then I don't know if he was trying to raise the gun or what he was trying to do, but I shot him again. That was the one that was in the doorway, and then but it was kind of like far. I don't know, I'm trying to make it make sense. And it all happened like a blur, like so fast, and then I remember shooting. Wasn't his hand or whatever, and then recognizing that it wasn't a gun, and then like panicking, like looking around and being like, you know, what the fuck? Oh my god, what the fuck? Now all my clothes and all that stuff were in the back room, but I didn't, like I was just thinking like I was gonna panic, like what the fuck? So I went to run downstairs to see what the gunshots or whatever it was downstairs. And that kind of fucked me up. So I was like fucked up behind that. I ran and I ran back upstairs, up, like kind of like panicking, like I don't know. And I went upstairs. She wasn't there, which kind of baffled me. And I didn't have no cover.
What was this friend you said?
Yeah, that's the one that lives there with me.
Yeah.
And I didn't have no ride or nothing, so I went back down. Keys or whatever off the table, and took his truck and just like drove away. And then after I got a little ways away or whatever, I called my wife and just told her that it was, you know, just trying to talk to her and stuff. And I didn't tell her what I did. I just told her I did something bad and that I didn't know what to do, and that you know, he already shot somebody. He was gonna shoot at me, or he shot at me, or something like that. And front door. I'm not, I mean, like I said, I wasn't there, I wasn't sure. I just know I heard a bang, but it wasn't a gun bang.
I got it.
And then I heard, so I mean, for sure two, like at least two, I want to say two and then a third, like a two and then a pause and then a third gunshot.
Do you think he knew what he was doing, or do you think he was like wigging out and thought it was someone broken?
Well, he'd been wigging out the whole, you know what I'm saying? He'd been wigging out like the whole night. He'd been like.
Do you think he didn't know?
All blurred, like I didn't think. That's when I first heard the noise, you know, what's going on, and then I just kind of like, I seen that he was like on the steps to go down to his house, so I left right. I mean, I ran back upstairs because the side door is right there, like where they push you out to the driveway. That's the door I went out to go check on him, and I seen like almost immediately, you know what I mean? Like I seen that he was on the steps, so I ran back upstairs to see.
So was he all the way up the top of the steps, or was he like halfway up?
I want to say like mid-step.
Okay.
I don't think he was all.
Was he conscious, or?
No, he wasn't conscious. Like he had like his like face was opened up and stuff. You could tell he got like shot like close.
Borton attempted to justify his actions by claiming self-defense, alleging that he awoke to the sound of gunshots originating from his roommates. He admitted to the possibility of mistaking a pipe for a weapon in the chaotic moment. However, law enforcement's examination of the crime scene revealed no firearms or pipes near the deceased individuals. Borton's narrative appeared challenging to accept, especially considering the setting involving drugs. As the investigation progressed, the lack of clarity surrounding his self-defense assertion added further uncertainty to his account. The absence of supporting evidence made it increasingly challenging to place trust in the validity of his explanation.
Did you pass any police officers like in the area? Were we getting in the area, or did we get there quickly?
I took right off. I panicked and just took. I was trying to get out of there.
Did you go north out of there, or?
I went when you turn off the driveway, you go right.
Okay.
So you go down that way, and I remember taking a left, and I honestly couldn't tell you what direction I drove after that because I was just like befuddled. I was fucked up. I waited for a little while, then I called my wife. She kind of grounded me a little bit.
When you got to Grand Rapids, were at 9 o'clock or so, where did you go?
Try to go to my mom's house and she wasn't home. And I tried to go to one of our mutual friends' house and he wasn't home.
It was Sunday, for God's sake. Where's everybody at, church?
I was thinking the same thing. It was early too. It was 10, probably 10, because I sat there and talked to my wife for like an hour in the parking lot. Mm-hmm. Then this is after I went to Kent home, and then was that after or before? No, it was before.
So then when you went all those three places, nobody's home. Where did you end up?
Right where you guys found me on 2nd Street.
Okay.
3rd Street. No. I went to a car park first off Post Drive. Parked there, but there's a lot of traffic coming in and out. So, I didn't want to stay there. So I ended up going to...
Did you tell him what happened?
No. I just told him I needed to chill for a while. I needed to just get some sleep or somewhere peaceful. And he was like, "What's up?" And I told him I didn't want to talk about it. And he said, "Okay."
And did you tell your wife what you did?
No.
Okay. Just what'd you tell her?
I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't want to get her in any trouble.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, anything to do with her.
Granting Borton a measure of control over the interrogation, the detective recognized the significance of maintaining Borton's willingness to communicate. Understanding that creating an environment where Borton felt a sense of agency might yield more valuable information, the detective gave up some control, hoping to extract useful details without risking a complete shutdown in communication from Borton. This approach aimed to balance the need for information with preserving Borton's cooperation and openness during the questioning process.
He seems like a pretty decent dude. He happened to be, they were all hanging out at like the place north of there, right next door. He's part of.
Oh, talking about the house north of there.
Yeah.
Talking about old girl's mom, dad's house.
Yeah. He's part of it. He's in their club too, or?
Talking about.
It was just north of there.
Oh.
He's not part of the club. Oh, okay. He led me to believe he was.
No, he's not.
Is he full of shit?
Yeah.
He claims he. Like, well, why haven't you told us? Oh, it was so dark I couldn't see who did it.
Right.
Okay. He was kind of full of himself. And a little bit. He seemed pretty down to earth guy. Is that a pretty decent club? I mean, motorcycle clubs you hear are kind of rough, but those guys all seem pretty decent.
I mean, besides just having drug habits, I mean, that's about it. They didn't really cause no problems or have any like real beat. I mean, there's people coming out there, but it's mostly because the girls they protected, not them. You know what I mean? It was like girls that have problems with guys that come out there and then make sure the guys stay away from them or whatever.
So we did recover some rounds in each one of the individuals. We found some casings. A 38 is probably not going to eject a casing. It's typically a revolver. I'm assuming that was a revolver. So we'll be able to match up. And so especially now that we do have, they did recover a couple of guns over to your buddies. It's both the guns that you had there. You said they were behind a
blue futon
both of them. Yeah, that's where they found at least the 40, and I'm assuming they said they found 2 guns.
They were wrapped up together. So.
Okay. So, anything else you can add, or anything you want to add?
I mean, not that I can think of right now. It's still blurring in my mind now. Just trying to replay that shit. It's just
I bet. And pretty much everything you told me appears to be pretty accurate. Obviously, we were in the belief, and I don't know that we're not in the belief. The ballistics will tell us that.
Oh, absolutely.
They'll tell us if your gun wasn't used, then I got to think that.
Right.
Because I would think that you probably had the 40. I don't know why you would have. I mean, I guess it's possible you could have used both guns, but it would be unusual.
Right.
Can you agree with that? How many times do you think you shot altogether?
I mean, I know I emptied the clip.
Okay. Did you reload?
No.
Okay. Did you have additional magazines?
No, I think I had the one bullet that's left in there. That was for me, and then that was it.
Okay. So your thought was you were going to at some point use that on you, that last bullet? Yeah. Well, I'm glad
Well,
you're...
mostly just to shoot in the air and have you guys shoot me. I'm trying to kill myself before I have enough guts to do it.
Yeah. Well, for your son's sake and your wife's sake, more importantly your son's sake, I'm glad you didn't do that.
Yeah, I know.
Because your son will be able to see you. He'll be able to come at some point. I don't know how prison works, but obviously you do. But I would think at some point he's going to be able to come visit you.
Oh, yeah.
Do they let him when they're young?
Yeah.
Well, for his sake, he's not going to know any different initially.
Yeah.
Anything I can help you with? Because like I said, I do appreciate your honesty, your cooperation. You could have made this difficult for me, and you didn't, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, there's going to be things you probably need as far as like little details or little questions you have. And I'm fine with all that. I already know there's no snitching, nothing. But I'm not snitching on nobody myself.
No, you're right. There's probably going to be one or two things I didn't think to ask today.
Yeah.
And you're cool with me coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Like I said, as long as like you guys have held up your end, like with bringing my wife in here and doing what you said, and he went and orders the pizza and all that. So I'm just a man of my word. If it's upheld on both ends, and how our relationship right now is how it'll always be unless you change it.
Sure.
That's just the truth. Yeah. I won't ever change it because I have no reason to.
I have no reason to change it either.
And so that's just it's just. But yeah, I know you're gonna have more questions.
Let me get with my partner here real quick and see if he had any questions.
Following the legal proceedings, Judge McBain rendered the verdict, sentencing Borton to 2 life terms in prison with no possibility of parole. In these 2 stories, things went very wrong for Nick Browning and Zachary Scott Borton. Nick confessed to a terrible crime, changing lives forever. He got a life sentence. Borton, claiming self-defense, faced doubts and confusion, ending up with 2 life sentences and no chance to leave prison. Both cases show how choices lead to big consequences, impacting lives and communities in lasting ways. They're reminders of how complex life can be, and how justice plays out in difficult situations. Remember, it's your curiosity that fuels this channel. Keep exploring, stay inspired, and join us for more amazing content next time.